What's up, everybody? So this is the newest addition to my collection. It's a 1972 Sears Suburban 12, and it's interesting how I came about this, but I've been looking for one for a while. I had one before and I regretfully sold it a few years ago, and been looking for another one kind of for the last 6 months, but as you probably all know, that they're getting harder to find, and the people that have them know what they have, and they're kind of expensive. So I ended up putting a post out there with a photo similar to this one here, and asking if anybody out there had one or knew of anybody that might have one that would be looking to sell it. And less than 13 hours later, I had a response from an old high school friend that I haven't seen in, well, since graduation many years ago. And he said, like this one, and he had a picture of this, which was basically identical to the photo I had posted, color and all. So I got in touch with him, and sure enough, he doesn't use it anymore, hasn't used it in a long time. It's been sitting for a long time. So he offered it up to me, and I jumped on it. So I just brought it home, and he did tell me that the reason he had taken it out of service a long time ago was that the gas tank had rusted out, which you see there in my toolbox. And I guess he did a little patchwork to it, and he just never got around to putting it back in. So you know, it maybe not be the prettiest patchwork, but it looks like it still would hold. And maybe I'll repair that or replace the tank or whatever later. But for now, I just want to get it up and running, and I just put a battery in it because there was no battery in it, and I've gotten that far. So anyway, there's the battery, and obviously where the tank would be. And I turned the key and nothing happened. So I thought possibly the solenoid, but chances are, if he said it was running when the tank went bad, I thought maybe just from sitting outside or whatever, might be bad electrical connections. And sure enough, I just took the connections off that key switch there and found that the terminals were all kind of rusted, and I brushed them up with a wire brush. And I also took the plastic caps off the wires and brushed the other ends of the wires with my wire brush. And now I'm able to turn the key, which I just did, and it will turn over. So next thing we're going to do is, for the first time ever, try to actually start it. So there, it'll turn over. So we got at least that far. And yeah, so I'm gonna spray some starter fluid in there, because I obviously don't have a gas tank or any gasoline, so there's no air cleaner on at the moment, which I don't like to run without one, but we're just test firing. So I've took it off for the purpose of spraying some carb cleaner in there, which I'll try to do now, and then see if we can get it alight. Oh, see if I can get in there. That should be plenty. Hopefully it got in there. Let's see what we get. I have not even tested for spark, so I don't even know. Let's see. Here we go. Whoa, 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 whoa! Hey, look at that. She runs. Beautiful. That's a beautiful thing. All right. I'm excited. It's been sitting for a long time, according to him. So that's encouraging. I didn't check the plug. I didn't check for spark. I didn't clean the carb. I have done nothing but throw a battery in it and clean the terminals on the key switch. So to run on starter fluid, that's pretty cool. Yeah, and that's all it's running on. So I guess next is to plumb up a fuel line. This one looks like it's in pretty rough shape, so I'll have to take the cover off and where it's fished through here, and probably replace this one as well. Put the tank on, clamp it up, and then we should have a runner, and we'll get to try to drive it for the first time, which will be phase 2 of the tests and trials for this thing. You know, overall I would say it's in pretty good shape. Not a lot of rust or rot or anything like that. I mean, very minor surface kind of stuff, but it does show that at some point it was painted. They painted some gray over the fenders, and it looks like gray on the body work. You can see it all flaking off here. Originally it was white under there. So at some point one day I will plan to do some cleanup and make it look pretty. But I like it just the way it is, to be honest. I like it original condition. What's really cool about this is I found out a little history. My friend who had it, it actually came to him by way of his wife, because his father-in-law, his wife's father, bought this brand new in 1972, and they've had it all that time. And I guess his father-in-law passed it on to him and his wife when they bought a big property years ago, and he used it for a lot of years there, and then, like I say, took it out of service at one point. And now he also mentioned that they're moving to a bigger house with a lot less land, and they're really not going to have a use for it. So the timing was great, me looking for it and him looking to make some space. So just a great thing that came together, all because of Facebook, believe it or not. I'm not a big Facebook person, but I think at this point it's a necessary evil these days, because Craigslist is so full of scams, and there's an awful lot of good groups on Facebook for buying and selling, and just for reaching out and contacting and networking. And just by posting on my own page what I was looking for and a photo of what it was, again, in about 13 hours I had a response. And after looking at similar tractors like this for $500, $600, $700, $800, some people want $1,000, I ended up scoring this bad boy for $50. So I'm pretty psyched about that. Any of you should know that you can barely buy a rim and tire or a battery or any component for $50, but to find a Sears Suburban in this condition that runs and hopefully drives, we'll find out, even if it doesn't, for $50, that's a score. And I really got to thank my buddy from high school, who I haven't seen since high school, for reaching out to me and passing this thing along for me at such a reasonable price. My little boy is only a year and a half. He's as crazy about the tractors as I am, and we've got a good collection going at this point. And he's super excited too. Can't wait to ride it. So I'll get back to you guys when I get this tank plumbed up, and we'll get some gas in it, and hopefully take her for the first ride and see how that goes. See you soon.